as an 18-year-old, I've made it a decent amount. I've made it pretty far. I bought my first car. I'm starting to slowly move out. I'm not directly going the college route.
Yeah.
Also, last year was a Canadian national champion. So I won biggest overall contest there. And I was able to compete internationally in the ISA World Junior Surfing Games. So my name is Jonas. I'm a professional surfer and social media manager from Ventura, Malibu area. I got into surfing when I was 8 or 9. From surfing, I kind of made my way into content creation because I had friends doing it, and I just liked watching videos on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, I always kind of had a passion for YouTube and making videos. Like I used to make like little gaming videos. I'd like set up my camera. Like I didn't even know how to screen record. I'd set up my camera and put it to my TV and talk and play video games. But yeah, it's awesome. Crazy. But then I ended up figuring out, might as well do some surf content, right?
Yeah. How big of an influence was your father in you getting into surfing? Like from when you started, so you said like a boogie board. What age was that?
I would say that was around when I was like 8 years old. He grew up in Canada and moved here and had my twin brother and I.
Yeah.
And he originally got us into basketball, but when he moved here, he decided to start windsurfing, and then that segued him into surfing.
Like, wait, so he went from windsurfing first and then to surfing.
Well, he went to basketball to windsurfing, which is the crazy part in my opinion.
That is nuts, yeah.
But yeah, so we went basketball, windsurfing, surfing, and then so we used to have all these like family beach days, and we'd go with like family friends. And my dad and his buddies would go surf. Well, my brother and I and a couple of kids we were hanging out with. I ended up standing up on the boogie board, and then I got a surfboard for Christmas, and he just started taking us and pushing us into waves every day.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we sparked our love for surfing. But he was a huge influence. He gave up countless hours to take us surfing, take us to contests, and push us to be the best surfers we could be.
What do you think drove your father to really, I would say, push you to commit to it fully?
I mean, I would say it's similar to any father pushing their kids into any other sport. Like, my dad would pay for us to get coaching. He'd take us to the beach and he'd watch us surf, but he'd film us so we could look at what we do wrong and better it.
Yeah.
I feel like his love for surfing as well also kind of drove into loving watching us surf.
Yeah. What is it like having a twin, I mean, in terms of the comparison side? So you guys are both surfing, being compared to your brother, like, what does that dynamic look like?
I mean, that's so funny because people always ask us the question, like, who's a better surfer?
Yeah.
It's like, because all we do is surf. It's like, it's kind of hard to tell. I feel like our whole childhood, we've always been kind of neck and neck. I feel like it's like, I win a contest, he wins a contest, or I beat him, he beats me, or it's like it was always so interesting. It's like even if I'll beat him 3 times in a row, and then he'll beat me 3 times in a row. So we've always been kind of neck and neck.
Wow.
And I mean that's always driven me to be a better surfer. And honestly, better at everything I do because we've always been so competitive.
Yeah.
And I mean it's just so interesting having a twin brother because it's like you're set with the exact same genetics.
Yeah.
Like, it's like why I need to be better than him.
Yeah.
You know?
So like who has the more drive?
It's like who has the more drive? Who has a better work ethic? And always a competition.
That's cool. And I'm assuming, I mean, just when you think about competition in general, it's like that's what literally drives you. If you had nothing to compare yourself to from time to time, right? Or no other person that's kind of like, hey, they're trying to take your mantle, if you will, then I don't know. I think there is a lot more drive that is able to happen when you're neck and neck with someone.
Oh, totally.
Right. When you're right next to somebody like, hey, I'm going here. And they're also encouraging you to go too, right? And the amount of reps. What does it even look like to become like a pro surfer? Like, what is that process?
Every day for me was like, wake up, eat a healthy breakfast, go for a surf, come in, go for a workout.
Yeah.
Maybe go back for a surf.
Yeah. So, and then the level of becoming a pro, are you just jumping on competitions, getting recognized? Like, is there...
Yeah, so I would say being a professional is making money off surfing.
Okay.
And I make money through content, but I've also made money through contests.
Yeah.
Also, last year was a Canadian national champion, so I won biggest overall contest there.
Wow.
And I was able to compete internationally in the ISA World Junior Surfing Games.
That's cool, man. That's pretty dope.
Thank you.
It's cool to be able to see one at such a young age be able to get involved with so much competition.
Yeah.
And I think, just in general, like whenever I think of when I'm performing at my best, it's always because I am directly competing with another.
Totally.
Right. And
totally.
And it's not that like, oh, I'm always trying to beat them, or I want to like. The only reason why you would be motivated to win is because there's someone else on the other side trying to go after you, or being able to have that force of resistance, especially at an early age, I think it's huge. I mean, you're 18 now. You've gone through a lot of competition, but that also it gives you a competitive edge to know, like, for example, in business, like what you need to do as well.
Oh, it's like it directly translates for sure.
Absolutely.
So I feel like as an 18-year-old, I've made it a decent amount. I've made it pretty far. I bought my first car. I'm starting to slowly move out, and I'm not directly going the college route.
Yeah.
Which I'm very proud of myself for, but I want to be able to like make it big. Yeah. And the only way I can do that is by constantly getting better and trying and trying and trying. I feel like also at the same time with content creation is it's constant, like, I put hours and hours into it, and it absolutely translated to nothing. Ooh. And just being able to do that and keep pushing forward and eventually hit it big.
What would you say to those people who are maybe trying something out or wanting to get better at something, but they're not getting any results?
Yeah.
Whether it's business or in a sport or whatever they're trying to do.
Well, I mean, it kind of sounds like corny and original, but it's like never stop trying.
Yeah.
Like you always try something new, always try, always put yourself out there, because the second that you stop, nothing will happen.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's better to put something out and have it do bad than to put nothing out and have it.
I think that's the thing too, is like people, they think they have to have everything perfect before they start.
Yeah.
You know, they're just like, oh, I just don't know where to get started. Well, just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah. Just go. Just try something, right? I talk to so many people on the regular about, who are like, I don't know where to get started. I don't know what to do. And they just kind of like sit in this place of analysis, like paralysis, when it's like, if you just start doing it, you start figuring out what you suck at, what you need. But I think the key thing in that is, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people are just afraid of sucking at something.
Yeah.
You know, and continually sucking at something.
The more you dive into it and the more obsessed you get, the easier I feel like it is. You get into that workflow and you're in it, you know, you're there to win.
So with your growing platform, what other opportunities or ventures do you see yourself exploring beyond surfing?
My girlfriend and I have a social media management business that we just kind of recently started up.
And you're also making money for yourself on your own views and your own social media.
Yeah, right? So I make money on my own views. What
does that look like? And is that because of the surfing, or is it a combination of getting the views, so therefore you get paid partnerships?
So something I find interesting, which I kind of recently started to dive into, is like finding a way to make yourself appeal to every brand.
Yeah.
And the way I do that is kind of by making lifestyle content, like showing what I do as an 18-year-old professional surfer / content creator. Like,
how important was that for you to really like start really aiming or like building that out for yourself?
It's massive. Like that was when I really started getting to the business side of social media.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always kind of struggled with, is like, I can make videos, I can make good videos, I can get views, but I can't necessarily get partnerships out of it.
Yeah.
And so once I kind of really dove into that and was determined to do it, everything kind of blew up from there.
In terms of result, what does it look like in terms of what you're making money-wise on the sponsorships, the partnerships? What does it look like on the social media business, if you're able to share?
We write up a separate proposal for each company and just different budgets for it.
Nice.
And we obviously have different packages that they can choose from.
Yeah.
So it ranges anywhere from $10,000 to a month to $5,000 to $2,500. And it's like, and then it's obviously split up between my team. And then when it comes to my personal brand, I charge like around $500 to $1,000 a video. For example, I just got a partnership with DJI. So I did their action camera, and it was really fun. I got like a little mouth mount for it and did like little point of view surf clips. But I ended up doing like $2,500 in a month just off that.
Wow.
But I'd say I do on average like $5,000 a month right now. But obviously I'm planning on scaling up and up and up, and this is just the beginning of something that I want to.
What would you say to someone, and I would say currently, maybe not necessarily in your shoes, but like around your age, who wants to be a business owner, who wants to go all in on something? Like, is it too late for them? Like in that stage, what would you say to them?
It's never too late to start something new. 100%. Like, I mean, for example, you're all constantly dealing with businesses. And there's always new things coming up, and you're like it's always evolving. There's always something to do. There's always opportunity if you're just driven enough to go look for it. But something that I would recommend to honestly never really think about it for the money. Because the second you only think about money is the second that you're not going to want to do something.
I was going to ask, like, because I feel like that's important, because a lot of times, like, oh, I'm waiting for money. But, like, it's something that I see and people will give up very quickly. I know we've kind of harped on this point a little bit, but, like, the aspect of you staying in the game. How important is it for you to focus on maybe even just doing something you enjoy or you get value from, or you just, I guess, overall enjoy that will help you stay in the game?
Well, so I really enjoy what I do because there's so many different directions you can go from social media. I mean, you can be a videographer, you can be a photographer, you can be an editor, you can be someone who manages all of it, you can be someone who manages like partnerships with other people.
Yeah.
Like there's just so many different ways you can go, and I mean, I always have an idea for something I want to do.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm not really concerned about getting out of the game.
Yeah.
I always want to keep getting better at what I do.
Yeah.
So I can stay in as long as I possibly can, and I don't want to lose a client. I don't want to like lose a partnership, but that stuff does happen. So it's always about kind of knowing that what you do, you enjoy doing it, so that that type of stuff doesn't demotivate you. Find something that you're passionate about, and maybe think about different ways you can make money from it. Like, no matter what you do. For me, it was like I kind of found out that social media was my thing.
Yeah.
And then eventually I kind of figured out that it was partnerships that pay, it was views that pay, and then managing it for other people. So, I mean, in complete honesty, I feel like I kind of was set with like the perfect hand of cards.
Yeah.
And I just ended up having fun playing them, you know, like stayed at the blackjack table for too long. And
now
I'm starting to win big.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to stay here for
I'm going to stay here for a little bit longer, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just it's just find something, you know? I mean, if blackjack doesn't work out, maybe I'll go try roulette. So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate you being on the show.
I appreciate you.
Let's get some pizza.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That was awesome, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.